Welcome back to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So today we're not talking about, the usual stuff, the quarterly layoff numbers or which tech stock is doing what.
No, not at all.
We're going a lot deeper. We're looking at something much more fundamental, the vanishing point of the middle class, really.
Yeah.
The entry-level job.
Mm.
And this isn't just about a tough market. We're talking about a genuine structural crisis.
Mm.
The sources we looked at, they paint a pretty alarming picture.
They really do.
For generations, that first job, it was more than just a job, right? It was this sort of implicit apprenticeship.
That's the perfect term for it.
Yeah, whether you were a junior analyst, a paralegal, I don't know, a marketing assistant, the work itself wasn't always the point.
No, the point was what you absorbed.
Exactly. It was about learning what one of the sources called the tacit physics of the workplace. I love that phrase.
So good.
The tacit physics, how to read the room in a big meeting, knowing which problems you're supposed to solve on your own and which ones you need to flag immediately.
Right, that ambiguity management.
It's all about translating that clean academic theory you get in college into messy real-world practice. That was the on-ramp.
And that on-ramp, it's being dismantled. I mean, brick by brick.
So what's doing the dismantling?
It's generative AI. It's process automation. It is just absorbing all of those routine cognitive tasks that, used to define the first few years of a career.
Like what kind of tasks specifically?
Well, think about the basics, the things that built confidence, like doing the first pass on resume screening or the initial basic data cleaning.
Right, or even just formatting a report, the grunt work.
Exactly, the grunt work, drafting some simple code. I mean, these were the training wheels of the knowledge economy, and the machine is just taking them away.
Okay, so the training wheels are gone. What are the stakes here, then? What's the mission of this deep dive?
The stakes are incredibly high. This isn't a recession. It's not a cyclical thing. It's a structural mobility crisis.
Mobility crisis.
Yeah. If we don't intentionally design a replacement for that first job, we're going to create this permanent bottleneck.
A bottleneck.
You'll have this huge pool of bright, capable, really well-educated young people trapped at the bottom, looking up at a ladder that, well, it doesn't even reach the ground anymore.
And at the same time, you've got all the senior people at the top and no one coming up behind them.
Right. The whole system just clogs up.
That feels like a profound shift. I mean, we've seen tech change things before. Automation, globalization. What makes this wave so fundamentally different? Why isn't this just, another disruption we'll adapt to?
That is the core question, I think. In the past, industrial revolutions, mechanization, it mostly displaced hands.
Physical labor.
Physical labor, repetitive manual work. But this cognitive revolution, it's different. It's displacing the learning process itself. It's automating the doorway to knowledge work.
And that creates this paradox.
It's a huge paradox.
Yeah.
You have graduates today who are, by far the most technically credentialed generation ever.
So many degrees, certificates.
Right. They have all this demonstrable knowledge, but they're walking into a job market that has automated the very tasks they need to prove they could do the work.
So you learn all the theory, but have no place to practice it. I can go online right now and take a course that teaches me the perfect syntax for a coding language. I can learn the how.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can master the syntax.
Yeah.
But that course, it cannot simulate the pressure of a client deadline when the project specs keep changing.
No.
Or the political friction of trying to get two different departments to cooperate on a project.
All the messy stuff.
All the messy human stuff. That is where professional judgment is made. That's the part the machine can't do yet.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
It does.
Because these market forces are creating a really dangerous incentive.
They are. The result is what the sources are calling the hollow middle.
The hollow middle.
Think about it. What do companies want right now? They are desperate for senior talent, people with judgment, strategic vision, the experts. But, and this is the kicker, at the very same time they're screaming for senior talent, they're getting rid of the junior roles.
That create the senior talent.
Exactly. They're eliminating the very roles that produce the people they say they need.
It's so short-sighted. You're hitting your quarterly efficiency goals, sure, but you're killing the long-term health of your own talent pipeline.
Precisely. And one of the sources used this powerful, almost terrifying metaphor for it.
I think I know the one you mean.
They said companies are burning the nursery to warm the house.
Burning the nursery to warm the house. Wow, it paints such a vivid picture. You're basically running on borrowed talent.
Completely. You're just poaching experienced people from your competitors, which just drives up costs for everyone and leaves this huge vacuum in 5 or 10 years when your current leaders retire.
So it brings us to this, this really terrifying question.
Yeah.
If the machine is doing all the novice work, the work that taught us how to deal with friction and ambiguity, how does a human ever become an expert?
And that's the crisis.
So when you present that, the usual answer you hear from, policymakers or academics is just, well, get more education.
Get a master's degree.
Right, get another certificate. But the sources we're looking at, say those old tools, they're just not working anymore.
They're absolutely failing. The data is clear. There's a striking decline in openings for new graduates in core business functions.
So it doesn't matter how many degrees you have if the door is closed.
Exactly. The problem isn't the individual's lack of skill. The problem is the infrastructure is broken. The corporate pathway that's supposed to accept that skill, it's just gone.
So we have to reframe this. We have to stop calling it a skills gap, which blames the worker.
And start seeing it for what it is. A failure of infrastructure.
And if the infrastructure is broken, the market's not going to fix it on its own.
Never. The market's short-term incentive is always to automate, not to train. A machine is always cheaper than an apprentice in the short run.
So we have to move from, a passive labor market to an actively designed one? It's an architectural problem?
It is an architectural problem. We need a new blueprint. And the sources point to 3 really big, urgent architectural shifts we need to make to rebuild that on-ramp.
Okay, let's unpack these because this is the solution part. The first shift is from gatekeeping to architecting. What does that mean?
It means employers have to stop what the sources call unicorn hunting.
Unicorn hunting?
Yeah, posting an entry-level job that asks for 5 years of experience.
Oh, right. We've all seen those.
Those people don't exist. Instead of trying to screen people out, companies need to start building earn-and-learn pipelines, actively architecting talent.
So you hire for potential, not for polish.
Exactly. You find people with the raw capacity and you build the scaffolding around them so they can succeed.
Which sounds a lot like bringing back apprenticeships, but for the modern age.
A modern version, yeah. Formal internal fellowships. Maybe the first 6 months are explicitly about teaching those tacit physics, how to manage stakeholders, how to present ideas, not just technical skills.
Okay, so that's the employer's role. What's the second shift?
The second is moving from systems that are time-bound to ones that are competency-based.
So getting away from the 4-year degree as the only signal of competence.
Precisely. That system is now way too exclusive and way too expensive. We need to dismantle this idea that time spent at a specific campus is the only proxy for capability.
So if the degree isn't the gatekeeper, what is? What's the new currency?
The new currency is portable, verifiable evidence of capability.
Okay, like what?
Like a project portfolio on GitHub that's been audited by industry experts. Like standardized, simulated exams that test how you actually handle a client crisis, not just a multiple choice question.
So show, don't tell.
Exactly. If you can prove you can do the work, that should be enough to get you in the door, regardless of where you learned it.
That feels much more meritocratic. Okay, the third shift is the big one. It's about public policy, moving from safety nets to trampolines.
Right. This is about rethinking the government's role. For decades, policy has been about cushioning the fall, unemployment benefits, food stamps.
Yeah.
The safety net, it's all reactive.
But if these jobs are disappearing permanently, a safety net isn't enough.
It's too little, too late. We need policy that's proactive. We need to build what the sources call mobility platforms.
Trampolines, not just nets.
Yes. Systems designed to push workers upward, not just keep them from hitting the ground.
What does a trampoline look like in real life for someone listening?
A trampoline could be a government-subsidized program that pays for you to take those verifiable competency exams we talked about.
Okay.
Or it could be guaranteed tuition reimbursement, but it's tied specifically to training in high-demand, non-automatable skills. It could even be a federally backed career coaching program to help you map your next 5 moves.
So it's about investing in upward momentum.
It's all about momentum.
Okay, so these 3 shifts, architecting competency-based systems, trampolines, are very structural, very technical, but the sources also kept coming back to the human element.
Oh, absolutely, because a technical fix will fail if it ignores the psychological toll this is taking.
What toll is that?
The feeling of being skilled but stuck. You have the degree, you have the ambition, but you can't find the door. That is deeply, deeply corrosive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It breeds cynicism. It undermines the confidence you need to innovate, to take risks, agency, and belonging. They're not nice-to-haves. They're essential design elements of any new system. It has to feel fair.
So if we don't fix this, what's the personal consequence for all of us?
Systemic stagnation. We lose the fresh perspectives that young talent brings into every industry. When you burn the nursery, you don't just lose future workers, you lose future ideas. The people with the new eyes can't get into the room.
So what does this all mean?
It means we have to let go of the nostalgia for how careers used to work. That world of the stable 20-year career path, it's gone. It's been absorbed by code.
We can't go back.
We can't. So instead, we have to embrace the hard work of designing how careers must work now. This isn't a crisis. The disappearance of the first job is an invitation to design something better.
Something more equitable, more efficient.
I really believe so. We have the tools. We have the blueprint in these 3 shifts. It just requires, intentional action from everyone, companies, government, schools, to actually invest in people, again, not just in automation.
A huge undertaking.
It is. But let's leave you with a final thought to chew on. We talked a lot about the tacit physics of the workplace, reading a room, managing ambiguity, and how those skills were learned implicitly through tasks that are now automated.
Right.
So if those tasks are gone, and we have to teach these high-value non-technical skills on purpose, what's the first new task an employer should create for a modern apprenticeship? What is the one task you could design to explicitly teach strategic judgment in the age of AI?